So what's happening, YouTube? Starting a little bit of a new segment here on the channel, because honestly I'm considering actually shutting down the channel. Of course, I've always thought about that. I'm always thinking about that. I'm not 100% for sure to keep doing videos, but we're gonna try this out here. I'm gonna do a little segment here. We're gonna call it just RC, real RC talk is what I'm gonna call it. And if people enjoy it, people comment, people like, we'll keep going with the real RC talk. So we're gonna flip the camera around here before we get to filming too long and my camera shuts off, because it's like 103 out here today, but it's beautiful and I didn't want to be sitting in the house. So let's get this flipped around and talk about the truck that we've chose today for the real RC talk while we're trailing. The truck I've chosen is the RC4WD TF3. And this ain't gonna be about scale filming or anything like that, guys. This is just gonna be driving out here for a little bit until my camera overheats. So I was watching some. Now this hill is incredibly steep and these tires are incredibly cheap. We'll see how we do here on it. And I'm not using the gimbal or anything. The phone's just mounted to my transmitter on a cheap mount. Never mind the noisy vehicles in the background. It's the UPS truck, not bringing RC parts. So this is an incredibly tough spot right here. I don't know if these tires will be able to get it or not. So, but let's talk about RC four-wheel drive in general. I see a lot of dumb crap, and like I said, I know this is going to bring me some hate, which is fine. Channel views.
Who? I hate you. Hate, 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 hate. Double hate. Loathe entirely.
And that's with some $10 tires from Amazon on 155s. Fantastic truck, the TF3. I know the big guys shit on it, but whatever. I don't care. I just give it to you straight because I'm not sponsored by anybody, so I don't have to care and kiss anybody's butt. And definitely don't get love from RC four-wheel drive. So, back into, I was reading some messages in one of the RC four-wheel drive groups. And this thing has the stock 1060 in it that came in this truck like 4 years ago. With miles and miles and miles and miles of smiles of runtime. So, I was on one of the groups the other day, and I read the stupidest comment I've ever seen in my life. Somebody commented they didn't like RC four-wheel drive stuff because they considered it toy grade. And I was totally blown away.
Dumbass.
You dumbass! That I've ever read in my life at reading that comment. Dude, for real, you consider a truck with a hard body, full interior, something you completely scale out, real scale, with metal axles that everybody cries about. Oh, they're made out of glass. 4 years on this truck right here, I've beat the shit out of it and it's been fine. I've broken one set of standard axles, dog bone axles, in this truck. It's even got the factory steering servo, the twister in it, and has for years and years. So let's go up here to one of our other climbs. I'll try to keep it stable here while we're doing our thing. Just driving and talking. And, okay, so what was I saying here? Change of camera. My phone kept overheating on me, so back down to the cheap GoPro. Sorry guys, image quality's not as good. This isn't a real GoPro. So we were going up here to our other harder line. Let's see how little side hill on this rough spot right here. I think I should be able to pull this whole thing while I talk to you guys. This is a lot steeper than it looks, this side hill spot. Oh yeah, I was ranting about how the guy considered the RC four-wheel drive. One of the stupidest things I've ever read. Toy grade. Well,
You dumbass.
You dumbass.
I'm not sure I understand that comment. Toy grade. Like I said, coming from, I guess he would consider something with a Lexan body with plastic axle housings, you know, as being less toy grade, which makes no sense to me. Not when you apply common sense to it. So, yeah, I don't get it. And guys, I am not, like I said, I don't get crap from RC four-wheel drive, but I will back their stuff 100% because their stuff has been so good for me. Matter of fact, I've got hit with plenty of copyright stuff for just using RC four-wheel drive in video titles and such on my YouTube channel. So, yeah, there's that. So back onto, yeah, I'm not sure, even if they're not the toughest axles in the world and they're meant for scale driving, which is what they're meant for, which is kind of sort of what we're doing here. They're not really made to go out and do TRX4 stuff or SCX-10-3 stuff, really. And I'm not saying you can't. And obviously you can modify stuff to do whatever. So this is the next hill climb we got right here. There's the view of it. How steep it is. So we're gonna pull up on here and see about getting up this. I haven't had this truck up it with these tires. All of our trucks pretty much make this spot, but the leaf trucks always surprise here. Because this is a harder line. We haven't had any rain. I can't even get up there, guys, to get to it. So I got to film from down here from a distance, and I'll try to zoom in for you guys the best that I can. So, yeah, back onto the guys were saying. Now, axle-wise, I've broke one set of the old dog bone axles, the original ones that come in this truck, being stupid. And I mean being real stupid. Pulling and ripping and tearing with the tires caught under rocks in a creek. And I am not easy on this truck at all. You know what I mean? It's a scale truck, and I always say drive them like you're in it. They don't have the best steering axle. Well, because they're not comp trucks. They're not supposed to have the best steering angle. And I'm in rock actually right there. You might have heard it, I don't know. This mic on this cheap camera don't pick stuff up that good. And these are just cheap $10 tires from Amazon. They're knockoff clone tires. Don't really give a crap about that either. They work fine. They actually worked really good right there. Because this is a harder spot to get up. That's where we just came up right there. So we're all the way at our peakity peak. And this truck just has just a brush motor in it. It does have a higher dollar rebuildable brush motor. But it's just got the old junky, stocky SC in it, so there's no 2-in-1 or nothing like that in it. We'll pull it up here to the top. I don't even know if this camera will focus in that far. I don't know. So we'll come run it down our other side here, and hopefully our drag brake will get us down there. And we're going to go back to talking about stuff. Like I said, this is the subject of the matter of our real RC talk. So, if I haven't already lost you, I see in my analytics most people watch like 2 or 3 minutes and they're like, boop, they're gone, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. I'm like, damn, it's that bad, you just can't watch it. So, that's another reason why I considered shutting the channel down. I'm like, dude, people aren't really watching it, so what's the purpose of doing it? I mean, I get enjoyment out of doing like the super scale videos and stuff like that, but anyhow, that's just my little personal thing. Super appreciative to the people who do watch it. Like I said, this is steeper than dog shit too, for you guys. And it's loose, so that crappy drag brake's doing its job on that 1060. That's had years of abuse. So, yeah, back to the RC four-wheel drive subject. Guys saying that they break the knuckles and all this stuff, and the only thing I can figure is they're just doing stuff that the truck wasn't really intended on use to do. I really do need to get a better ESC in this truck, for sure. So let's just go up here to our other little climb spot. Just relax trailing, talking to the subs for anybody that's listening. We're gonna go up here to our other spot. My little winch anchor in the back, cheap one that's worked really good. So back to the subject of RC four-wheel drive. I see so many comments of guys, you can't compare these trucks to a TRX4 or a 10.3 guys or any of that stuff. They're a scale truck. They're meant to have a smaller tire. They're not meant to have, and I'm not saying you can't, because obviously you can. You can put long leafs on them, super bendy, flexy. You can put shooter shackles and Z boxes and all that stuff. But for me, I've never really needed them. Just modifying the stock leaf springs work fine. Get your suspension. If you can get three and a half inches of travel out of your suspension on one of these, that's really all I've ever needed. Even in, you can't go into jagged big rocks. It's got small tires on it. It's not what it's made for. But they're still funner than shit. Like I said, I don't understand why RC four-wheel drive don't support the guys that actually go out and run their shit. It doesn't make any sense to me. They'll give these trucks to these free channels because they have all these viewerships and everything. But those guys don't run their shit. They just go out there. They just take pictures of them looking pretty. I mean, they'll go out and shoot a few videos and stuff. I'm talking to the guys that actually take their RC four-wheel drive trucks and they actually take them out and they run them and enjoy them. I pay more attention to that stuff than the big showmanship of the bigger channels that take the flashy pictures and all that stuff. Which, I mean, I do that too, I guess, but not like a lot of the channels do. So we're going to turn this thing around here and run it back at us. So anyhow, that's just my view on RC four-wheel drive trucks. They're meant to be driven like a scale truck. I always say drive them like you're in them. And I don't care what anybody says, they're a badass scale truck, man. I've never had a boom racing truck. Boom's a little bit, I don't know, maybe eventually one day once I sell some stuff off, I'd get a boom truck. A boom racing, maybe a BRX01 or 02 or something to build like a kit. I'm not even a big kit guy. I don't give two shits about RTR or kit, either one. If I'm going to do that, I'll just build from scratch if I'm going to buy a kit and just put the truck together piece by piece, because I'm going to change it. If I'm doing that, I'm probably going to be changing a bunch of shit anyways. So, I mean, that's just me. So, trying to get up this little spot right here while we're shooting the shit. And this is a kind of rough spot even for link trucks, because it's just a loose big dirt pile right here. Yeah, that got up it. I'm off the side hill over this way. I got vines wrapped up in my axle. So, kudos to those that have made it to this point in the talking on Real RC Talk, Chapter 1. And I got that vine wrapped up. Will it come off? Probably not. I'll have to stop recording and take that vine off the axle here. Alright, so I can't get the vine all the way off of it. It's wrapped up behind the hex because I'm an idiot. But, yeah, just talking about RC four-wheel drive in general here. Great trucks, guys. Don't listen to a bunch of the horse shit you hear. If you're into scale driving and you get these trucks and you go over them with the Loctite on your knuckles, and definitely need the XVD axles in them. This truck still has dog bones in it. It's had dog bones in it for the past year and a half. I've beat this truck and I've jumped it. For anybody that actually takes the time out to watch the videos, you know how I've treated this truck. It's been airborne, it's been jumped. I do a lot of action videos with it, higher speed, second gear passes. You know, I'm always ripping on this truck, letting it have it. I mean, it's been through several iterations over the years, and it's been fantastic, guys. So I can't really complain about this thing. It has held up super well. It is time for, I would like to put some, the newer axle. I'd like to get a set of the newer axles RC4WD drive come out with for it. They came out with the reinforced knuckles for the front end on these Yodas because everybody complaining about them having glass axles and whatnot. So, you know, probably do if you take them out and you beat them on a comp course or something, because like I said, that's not what they're designed for. That's like taking a Harley Davidson to a MotoGP race. Just saying. That's the best comparison I can give. I think that's why my channel gets a lot of flame, because I just tell people the truth. I mean, you don't show up to 24-hour Le Mans with a, you know, an Izetta, if anybody knows what that is. So we're gonna run up our little spot right here. You got to use some common sense on stuff, people, and not complain when you're beating the shit out of something and it breaks. So there we go. Kind of up the harder spot there. I'm gonna turn around when we come back around town. Like I said, it's not really about just filming RC. It's about I'm gonna start this iteration on the channel and see how well it takes off for everybody. There's some details I did up inside the interior. I don't know how well it'll pick it up, but I got a video on how I did the interior here on the channel too. Literally as cheaply as you possibly. Cost me like a couple bucks if you have a hot melt glue gun, some double-sided tape, and some cheap Dollar Tree fabric. So yep. And I still got to take this. You got to service these trucks a little bit more. You do got to service them a little more than what you do on, per se, maybe like your TRX4s and stuff, which is no big deal to me. You know, working on them is part of the hobby just as much as, you know, going out and running them to me. And that's to me. But I'm going to go up the steep side here. That dirt might be kind of loose. Yeah, I got up it. So, alright, get away from the yellow jackets. So yeah, back to talking about the truck. Like I said, these have the original leaf springs. This truck has the original Yoda 2 axles. I've broken one set of dog bones on it. Chipped one transmission tooth being stupid. That was doing second gear wide open pull power slides with this bigger motor in it. And this is a bigger powered motor. It's a higher turned. It's actually really nicely matched. If this thing had a 1080 in it, it'd be a lot smoother. It's choppy because of the 1060. Let's see. So that's just, I can, you know, for me, driving it around like this, more of a scale truck, what you would, you know, maybe like you're driving your real off-road Toyota. For me, that's what these trucks are meant for. And this truck has been great. Like I said, this is the TF3. TF2 is not really that much different. Same axles, you know, same issues. I don't think I can get up this without some real wheel speed right here. Yeah, so let me get up here so far and see. I doubt this truck, well, these tires will do it. It's really this truck. We're going to go, because this is a 2-speed. And that was my shitty driving right there. I probably could have got up that if I pay attention. So I'm going to stop talking and pay attention. Let's see here if we can get back over into the road. Oh, boom. See what I mean? I do drive this truck. I'm rougher on this one than I am most of my other ones because this is my just take out fun beater truck. Yeah, it's not gonna, I'm not gonna be able to get up that, it's too loose. Once you can usually make it up here to this rock spot, you're usually pretty good, but I don't think that's gonna get me. I don't think I'm gonna get up that. Maybe. I think I dug myself into a hole. Yeah, that's just loose. Oh, it's stuck on my foot. It'll make for good video footage though. I wonder if I can calm myself out back down in first gear. This truck shifts in and out of gears so nicely too, guys. And I'm just dug right back down into that. I'm gonna take my winch plate or my winch hook up out of that. I wonder, let's shut the camera off and hook the winch up and see how well it'll pull us up this. Alright, now this is the 9.5i winch or whatever from RC4WD drive. This is their real winch. This thing kind of peters out a little bit. I'm going to put some tension on it. You can see it. We just got it hooked up right here on a little root. Nope. She ain't pulling no more. Let's let her back down. We're gonna have to find ourselves another, maybe up this way, if I can steer, film, and drive. Well, we've made it to that point. We've made it to that point up here using that route. Let's see how much farther we can make it here. So, we're on the next route up, exposed. We're gonna winch and drive if we can, and film, which is almost nearly impossible. Once again, showing you guys, that is the 9.5 RC4WD drive winch, Warren winch. It does work. I highly recommend the big boy winch though. These winches will give it up pulling. So let's see if we can go up a little farther. If I had good tires, this truck would have made this pull, by the way. Okay, so we're gonna see if we can just make this up just without the winch. Trying to stand on the side of the mountain without dying. I'm already falling. Trying to video for you guys here. I gotta get some better tires in this truck. May have to have a winch point again. Trying not to fall to my death. Okay, let's see. We got a line right here. If I can get going. We got our... There we go. Okay, so that ain't gonna work. We're gonna have to find a winch point. So I actually made it up over that. If I could just get these tires to dig in a little more. Oh, we almost got up out of it there. This is a hard spot, guys, even for link trucks with really good tires on them. Seeing if the TF3. Oh, look at that. Even these cheap $10 tires, that are really hard that I put softer foams in. Come on, baby. We're digging. Let's go into second gear and see if... There we go. Back down into first. That's what I love about this truck. You can pretty much shift it on the fly if need be. And like I said, I rip on this truck like this all the time, guys. And she has never let me down. There we go, we're up to the top. Yeah, little help from our winch. Let's see if we can... Oh, I think I'm too far away for the winch to pick up connection there on the transmitter, so... Alright, so let's run her down to the other side. So we're way up there. We're way up there, fellas. Way up there. Gosh, I love the look of this truck, just an old beat up Toyota. We never come down this way very often. And this is, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get across this dragging my winch point, my winch anchor hanging. Like I said, a dirty dangler's there. I don't know if it'll get caught up in stuff. Man, I don't know. I'd say it'll get caught up in my tire. I'm not gonna be able to do that. So let's see if we can come down here. Gentle like. This is where we went up earlier. And guys, this is a rough spot. Those tires do not grip this stuff like my Proline Swamper Class Zeros. It just stays up there. These tires do not absolutely work that well on this stuff. But they work, and they're nice and scale is why I like them. You just got to drive your way with them. You can see how steep that is, this truck just sliding down. We're going to see if we can get our winch anchor pulled back up. And we'll go over to the picnic table, or we'll go over here to the Jeep and we'll have a convo to finish out our real talk. I had to get some action in there for y'all. So... let's run our truck over here to the G-Ripe. So, I just thought I'd do this little, you know, real talk. Maybe I'll do one, if I can, once a week. So we have a video at least once a week on the channel. Like I said, I am still kind of up in the air about even keeping the channel up and going, to be honest. There's so much, you know, there's so many RC channels out there that do content and stuff, you know. I don't know, you know, I mean, I follow a bunch of people, but I don't watch movies and a lot of TV stuff because I'm not really a, you know, big movie guys, yeah, but I'm not really a TV show watching type dude. I never was. I just don't. I'm not a big mainstream guy. You know, my wife watches a lot of TV and shows, but I just don't. I watch stuff with her. But let's shut the camera off and get the truck up here. So, yeah. Let's, we'll conclude our real RC talk here for the day. So this truck, just real quick, guys, like I said, has been beat on for years. I got this truck on a whim. Because I like the TF2 platform as well. They've been good trucks to me, you know. Anybody that goes back and watches my videos, I have the Marlin, I have, you know, I have a bunch of 4Runners and stuff and all that. These trucks, I don't know, you know, a little bit of work to them and they work good. You know, no, they don't have crazy, you know, articulation. They have plenty. I'm down in a hole in the tailgate, you know. But you don't really need a bunch with them. You can see that they work pretty good. You just take your time, break the suspension in. I kind of do a little rushed suspension break in. We're gonna get this thing turned off. Turn it off here, and we're just gonna pull this up. So, you know, it's just a TF3. I had tons of videos of this truck. I tried to work with RC4WD to kind of try to help them push, you know, some sales on this thing. They weren't interested. They gave them to the big channels for free, and the big channels, you know, they shit on it. They didn't like it. Wasn't good enough for them. They didn't like the big motor, which I don't either. But no big deal. All that stuff's just stuff that you can change. You know, I try not to cry about my stuff. I just change it. If I don't like something, I change it. There's our scale exhaust system again. It's holding up just fine. It's had a lot of rollovers. Everything's still tight on there. Everything's working out pretty nice on it. Like I said, you can see the axles on this thing. I don't know if that camera's picking it up very well. They've got a lot of scuffs and a lot of use. The knuckles are starting to show some play in them because, well, it's got a lot of use on them. They do got some play now in them, but it's no big deal. It's got miles and miles. What old Toyota's not rattly and shit moves around, so I know guys get bent out of shape about a lot of that stuff. You know, that shit's really not that big of a deal. Actually, it helps it limbered up. The truck works better that way. I am going to get a set of CVDs well, RC4WD calls them XVDs. I'm getting ready to order a set of XVDs for this truck. Or I may steal them out of the 4Runner that I just picked up. I don't know, because I'm not know what I'm doing with that 4Runner yet. Because this truck needs a good ESC. I like the motor that's in it, but yeah, I just thought we'd do this little bit here for our real RC talk for this week. If anybody likes it, likes this idea, for heaven's sakes above, comment down below and let me know. You know what I mean? You feel me? If anybody even watches the video, because I know the views have been pretty rough lately. Like I said, I know I'm not for everybody, because a lot of the channels I've noticed that do real RC shit, other than, you know, the shiny raccoon routine. Shiny comes out of the box. Everybody wants, you know, the new. That's not how I work. I just love RC. I don't care whether it's old or it's new. You know, just buying something, taking it out and running it 2 or 3 times, I don't get that shit at all. So this is going to be our adult portion. I'll have to label this adult language warning for the adult. Maybe I should call it our adult RC real talk. Real adult RC talk. How about that one? That might work better. But anyways, guys, I just thought I'd post this up. It'll give us something that we can do every week, and we can just talk and trail RC. Some of it might be bench. If anybody likes this, then comment down below. And like always, from the RC Dungeon, I talk a lot of shit sometimes. I just tell you the truth from the RC Dungeon. Peace.